So we're back where we left off last week, answering a couple more questions. If there was any questions I didn't answer, feel free to leave yours here, or any additional questions you come up with, and I'll reply to everything in the comments. But without further ado, let's get into it. Do you have writer's block sometimes? If so, how do you deal with it? All the time. Honestly, I just push through it. I think a lot of people use it as an excuse to not be working in the studio. I know I did, at least a few years back. But now I have like a list of things that I'll do instead, so to push through. That can be sampling songs, making samples myself and sounds, listening to different music, analyzing other songs, or like challenging myself in some way. Like, let's say I limit myself to only being able to use sounds I sample from a Bollywood like film or something like that. I don't know. If I do these things, worst case scenario, I'll have new sounds and samples, but usually I get some ideas from doing that. I hope that helps. If you could have dinner with one person in the world, who would it be and why? That would be Calvin Harris, to ask him how he made and mixed This Is What You Came For. Because I've tried remaking it and analyzing that songs for way too many hours, and I just can't get it right, and it annoys me every single day. Can you share any secret tips on how you process a vocal? I think I'll do a video on vocal mixing and processing very soon, so let me know what you guys specifically would want to see me go through, and I'll try and do that. Why did you come back to the EDM scene? Now, this is a good question, but the answer is pretty simple. I wasn't really leaving, I was just taking a break to come back stronger, hopefully at least. Which brings me to the next question. What did you focus on improving most in your break from music? It was mostly songwriting, writing vocals. For instance, one of the things I learned the most from was being at a writer's camp for a week with a Norwegian guy called Undress. He's written and produced hits for Justin Bieber, Jason Derulo, Pitbull, and so on. So learning from him was amazing. Just the collaborating and getting to work with lots of different people was the main focus in my break. As before that, I pretty much only made music by myself, and I realized I wanted to learn a lot more. Who was the artist who introduced you to electronic music? That was Tiesto. He was the first electronic artist I ever listened to. He's the man, honestly. Would you consider setting up your own label? I definitely will in the future, but it's gonna be a while. I want to be able to provide an amazing platform for new artists, and I just can't do that yet. How many tracks do you produce versus release? That's a very good question. I make a lot of bad music before I get to the good music, so probably only like 1 out of 10 tracks I make actually end up getting released. Which is kind of sad, but it is how it is. How did you get your music to be listened to when you first started making music? I just sent my music out to as many emails as I could find, but that was after I'd produced for like 5 years and I felt like my music was starting to sound pretty good. I think as long as the music is good enough, things will happen when people hear it. Which track are you most satisfied over? I'm proud of Strangers Do. It was such a long journey for it to be finished, and I loved every single second of it. It's also the first song that I've released where I've written a lot on the vocal and been heavily involved in that, which was amazing. But I have some tracks coming that I like even more. When did you start producing music? Started when I was 12, 13 years old, and I'm 22 now, so that's a long time. Would you collab with your fans? For sure. As long as the idea is awesome, I don't care who it's from. So feel free to send me ideas to promos@jonasaden.com. What is your favorite song? I'll have to think about that one for a little while, but I'll choose like my top 3 favorite songs of all time, and I'll put them on the screen here somewhere. Eric or Undress, who do you want to punch the most? Well, Eric is filming this, so I better say Undress.
Wiki wiki! Oh, you're awake, sorry.
Which are your tips to have a quicker workflow and finish songs faster? Regarding having a quicker workflow, I wish I had some tips, but I'm probably the slowest producer in the world. So if you're asking me, I'm asking you. What has actually helped though has been making samples out of my songs to give them out to you guys, because then I actually end up using it myself, and I've been reusing some of the samples here and there, which has helped me make things go a bit faster at least. But generally I'm a sloth when producing, so don't ask me. For the free mastering, I've picked out again 3 random comments. So Chris Dahlberg, Gytis Lazauskas, I'm sorry, and Max Stone. Please send me a DM somewhere, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you guys next week.